The sun was setting behind the dusty hills when Arman stepped off the old bus in a small forgotten village. He had not returned here in 10 years. The air smelled of dry earth and memories he had tried to bury. As he walked through the narrow streets, every corner reminded him of his childhood, laughter with friends, his mother's warm voice calling him home, and the dreams he once carried in his heart. Arman had left the village chasing success in the city. He believed money would fix everything, his broken family, his loneliness, and the guilt he felt for abandoning his roots. But after years of struggle, he realized success felt empty without people who truly cared. He stopped in front of his old house. The walls looked older, paint faded and cracked. His heart pounded as he knocked on the wooden door. A few seconds later, it opened slowly. His younger sister, Sana, stood there. Her eyes widened in shock. "Arman, is that really you?" she whispered. He nodded silently. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Years of distance and misunderstanding stood between them like an invisible wall. Then Sana suddenly hugged him tightly. Arman felt his chest tighten with emotion, a feeling he had not experienced in years. Inside the house, everything looked smaller than he remembered. The old clock still ticked on the wall. Family photos covered the shelves, frozen moments from a happier time. But one thing was missing, their mother. Sana's voice trembled as she told him the truth. Their mother had fallen sick months ago. She had always hoped Arman would return, waiting every day near the window. Hearing this, Arman felt guilt crashing over him like a storm. He realized he had wasted years chasing a life that left him empty while the people who loved him needed him most. That night, Arman walked through the village alone. The quiet streets felt different now, not as a place he wanted to escape from, but as a place that held pieces of his heart. He remembered promises he had made to himself, to take care of his family, to build a better future together. As he sat near the old well where he once played as a child, he made a decision. He would not run anymore. He would stay, fix what he had broken, and face the past he had avoided for so long. But Arman didn't know that returning home would uncover secrets hidden for years, secrets that would test his courage, his love for family, and the true meaning of forgiveness. To be continued. The next morning, Arman woke up before sunrise. The village was quiet, covered in a soft golden light. For the first time in years, he felt a strange mix of peace and fear. He knew he had come back to fix things, but he also knew the past would not be easy to face. Sana prepared tea in the small kitchen while Arman looked through old photo albums. One picture caught his attention, their mother standing beside a man Arman did not recognize. Confused, he asked Sana about it. She hesitated before answering. "That man came here a few years after you left," she said quietly. "He helped Amma during hard times, but he also brought news that changed everything." Arman's heart pounded. Sana explained that their family had once owned a piece of land near the hills, land Arman thought was sold years ago. But in truth, it had been taken through deception by a powerful businessman from the nearby city. Their mother had tried to fight for it but failed. Guilt and anger filled Arman's chest. He realized how much his family had suffered while he was gone chasing dreams that meant nothing now. Determined to make things right, he decided to visit the land himself. Walking toward the hills, Arman noticed how the village had changed. Some houses were abandoned, old friends barely recognized him. Yet, there was still warmth in the smiles of elders who remembered him as a young boy full of hope. When he reached the land, he found construction machines and workers building a large warehouse. A man in a black suit approached him and warned him to leave. But Arman refused. He demanded to know the truth about what had happened to his family's property. The man laughed and revealed that his mother had tried to stop the deal years ago, but no one supported her. Hearing this broke Arman's heart. He realized she had fought alone, waiting for him to return and stand beside her. That evening, Arman sat beside his mother's old window, where she once waited every day. Sana placed a small box in his hands, letters their mother had written to him but never sent. As he read them, tears filled his eyes. Each letter was full of love, hope, and forgiveness. In that moment, Arman made a promise. He would fight for his family's honor, protect his sister, and rebuild the home he once abandoned. But he also knew this fight would not be easy. Powerful people stood against him, and hidden truths about his family were still waiting to be uncovered. As the night grew darker, Arman stepped outside and looked at the stars. For the first time in years, he felt a clear purpose in his heart. The real battle had just begun, and this time, he was ready to face. The following days were filled with tension and determination. Arman began gathering information about the land that once belonged to his family. He visited old village elders, searched through dusty records, and listened carefully to stories people had been too afraid to share before. Slowly, the truth started to appear. The deal that stole their land had been full of lies and hidden signatures. One afternoon, an old man named Haji Saab called Arman to his house. With shaking hands, he handed him a worn-out file. Inside were copies of documents proving that Arman's mother had never agreed to sell the land. Tears filled Arman's eyes as he realized how bravely she had fought, even when everyone else had given up. But news of Arman's actions quickly reached the powerful businessman. That evening, two strangers came to his house, warning him to stop asking questions. Sana grew worried for his safety, begging him not to risk everything. Arman understood her fear, but he also knew that staying silent would mean betraying his mother's memory once again. Despite the threats, Arman traveled to the nearby city to meet a lawyer. The busy streets felt overwhelming compared to the quiet village, reminding him of the life he had once chosen. But this time, he was not there for success or money, he was there for justice. The lawyer carefully reviewed the documents and agreed to help him file a case. Meanwhile, the village began to change. People who had once stayed silent started supporting Arman. Old friends stood beside him, and neighbors offered help. For the first time in years, the community felt united. Sana noticed a new strength in her brother. He was no longer running away from his past but embracing it. One night, as Arman returned home, he found the door open and the house in chaos. Furniture was broken, and important papers were missing. Fear rushed through him, but Sana was safe at a neighbor's house. The message was clear: someone wanted him to give up. Instead of breaking him, the incident made Arman stronger. He gathered the villagers and spoke from his heart. He reminded them that fear had controlled their lives for too long. His words inspired hope, and the people promised to stand together no matter what happened next. A few days later, Arman received a court date. The real battle was finally beginning. As he stood outside the courthouse, he felt nervous but determined. He carried his mother's letters in his pocket as a reminder of why he was fighting. Looking at the sky, Arman whispered a quiet promise: he would not stop until truth and justice returned to his family and village. But deep inside, he knew the courtroom would reveal even more hidden secrets, ones that could change everything he believed about his past.